All right, we are back. It is the Personal Healthcare Reform Talk Show on Pegasus Net Waves, riding that mythical horse, taking your health to a higher level, and it is episode 20. I'm almost old enough to drink as a show, which is interesting. I guess maybe I should have somebody on with wine next time. We'll talk about that. Carry that over from the show about the show with all the show hosts. So anyway, a couple things before we get rolling here. Go visit clintfuquay.com, personalhealthcarereform.com. Check out my health partners. Get MedCall Assist because, of course, everybody needs a ER doctor on the phone, geolocating you, taking care of you wherever you're at, whatever your needs are, getting you to the hospital if you need to go to the hospital. If not, they take care of you there. Awesome service. Go check them out. It covers an entire family of 5 for like $50 a month. Can't beat it. It's still hot out there. Actually, it's not too hot. Dallas has been great for weather, but everywhere else is pretty hot. So my friends over at Kinesi, best clothing line that you're going to find. They use active cotton, takes the sweat off of you, keeps you cool, keeps you dry. If you run, any of the runners out there, bicyclists, anybody like that, the undershorts, the lock, incredible stuff. It really does actually help out with performance more so than the normal spandex stuff does. And PickFit Foods, they just opened a brand new location, so they've got 2 locations in Dallas now, or actually one in Plano, one in Dallas. The one in Dallas is right next to Medical City, Dallas. I will be back over there. We're going to do a bestseller book event for personal healthcare reform, so we're going to do that in July. We're going to push that to August. It's going to be better timing for us to do that. Otherwise, go to Amazon, pick up the book, and then come visit us over at PickFit Foods. Great foods, all antibiotic free, as much local organic as they can get, fresh made for you. Great stuff there. And lastly, ID Life. Go online, take that free health assessment. It's a free health assessment. 30 questions. It could save your life, quite literally. Awesome stuff. Best nutritional products you're ever going to get on in your life. How do I know that? Well, because I used to manufacture products. I know what's on the market. This is the best stuff out there, which is why I partnered with them for the radio show and everything else. One event that's coming up, I want to make everybody aware of. America's Future Series, a great group I'm going to be doing more stuff with. August 12th, we have a Veterans Job Fair at the Plano Convention Center. We have, I think, 36 different employers there. Jobs are going to be given there. They're not just bringing people in to do interviews. We're actually it's a real jobs fair, so you're almost going to interview before you even get to the place. So awesome. It's great for veterans. Anybody that's coming back, you've been over there fighting for our freedom. Now we're going to come back and get you a job, a very good paying job as well. So great group there, and you're going to hear a lot more about America's Future Series with new projects that I'm doing with them, especially next year, because we're going to have a huge healthcare symposium that we're going to put together, I think, for May next year. Don't quote me on that, but probably May next year we'll have that, and we'll have some really cool guests. So with that, speaking of health hitting the hot list, health in the news. Let's start off with a little ACA news. Tennessee and Louisiana rates are going up 10 to 30% starting in about 2 months, and of course next year. And then nationally, everything's going to be going up about another 20% across the board. And this is coming from the CBO. So yeah, if you thought it was affordable before, wait till next year. 2015 is going to get a lot more affordable. I guess that's the new affordability. So anyway, we got that. Of course, we've got I am going to get into some of the illegal immigrant stuff here because there is an issue with spread of disease. This is actually coming from the Health and Human Services because that's who's carting everybody all over the place, by bus, by train, by everything else, all over the U.S. A couple of things that are coming over with them: measles, mumps, tuberculosis, rubella, whooping cough, all kinds of other stuff is coming across, and a lot of lice apparently, from what I hear. But these people are being shipped around on planes, in buses that you're going to be riding in eventually at some point in time, being taken care of in different facilities, different apartment complexes, wherever, because they're putting out millions to house these people all over the place, and they're bringing diseases in that, well, we haven't really had to deal with in a long, long time. So, take care of your health, because there's some stuff coming over here that we haven't had to deal with in quite a while. along with that, new article came out talking about how doctors do make mistakes. For the most common mistakes, go to the Facebook page, go to clinicfuquay.com or personalhealthcarereform.com, click on that little Facebook page thing there, like the page, read through the articles on there because this is where everything comes from. But doctors aren't gods; they do make mistakes. So that's why you need to be vigilant whenever you go in and you do see the doctor. Make sure you're going in informed. You know what they're putting in front of you. Go out, research it, get a second opinion if you can, especially if it's something big. One really cool new thing: new potential protein therapy for diabetes. May be out sometime in the next year or two. But right now, one shot of this little protein compound is giving 2 days of normal insulin production. That's right, normal insulin production. It's actually bringing production back online. So pretty neat therapy there. Still running trials on that, but next year potentially it might be out. One really cool thing with climate change right now, because climate change is in the news. Me personally, yeah, we do have climate change. It happens 4 times a year. We have spring, we have winter, we have summer, we have fall. We have all these different times a year. And it's cyclic. It goes on 100-year cycles. So if you don't believe me, go check out the Farmer's Almanac. Because if you would have checked out the Farmer's Almanac, you'd know what kind of weather we're having this summer, and it's dead on. So with that, there has been shown if you actually take cattle and you raise them properly as they're supposed to do in the wild, like everything else, you bring back grasslands. You actually bring back underwater water reserves as well. It helps out the entire ecosystem, and you get some really, 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 really good grass-fed beef. So everybody's happy with that, especially all of us beef eaters like me. So this way you can have your cattle on your grasslands too, and normalize climate and take care of deserts and everything else. Really cool research being done on that, and that's actually coming from Africa. The research they're doing on the grazing, bringing back grasslands. To go along with that, probiotics keep you clean on the inside. If you're not taking any probiotics, I suggest taking some probiotics or eating some kefir or something like that. Great stuff. It actually reduces toxins in your system, radiation, if you're around any kind of radiation at all. If you go get a mammogram or something like that, probiotics actually help out with getting rid of the radiation that goes through your body whenever you get those. And speaking of mammograms, annual exams for women, that's all changing next year. That's right, the stirrups are probably going to be going away because they don't really help out doing anything. So basically the whole thing of being in the stirrups has been, well, you've been putting those needlessly for years and years and years. Doctors are finally finding this out, and they're going to quit doing it unless it's absolutely necessary. And the mammograms as well. They're going to start backing off on mammograms. And with that, 2 more things right quick. Big changes in causes of death. Back in the 1900s, it was just due to sanitation, basically disease. Since we're cleaner now, we don't have none of those issues, but we do have a lot of cancer and heart attacks because why? What we eat. So today we're going to talk about taking care of ourselves, taking care of how we eat, and also since it is a down economy, that changes everything for everybody, and having access to good foods and services and things like that. So my guest on today, we're going to be hitting that pretty much head on, talking about how to keep people healthy in a bad economy if they lose a job, things like that. So come back. We've got a great guest on with me today with Mr. CD Lawhon and Dare 2, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Have you planned out your financial future? Or maybe you have avoided it. Hi, I'm Angela Tweeten. Check me out at thelucrativelady.com.
Hi, I'm Kirsten James with Junior Players. Coming up July 22nd through the 27th, we will present Shakespeare's Comedy of Errors Under the Stars at the Samuel Graham Park Amphitheater. Admission is free, although donations are encouraged and accepted. You may bring your own picnic dinner, blankets, and chairs and join us under the stars for Shakespeare's Comedy of Mistaken Identities. Our website is juniorplayers.org or call 214-526-4076 for more information.
Hello, everybody on Pegasus Netwaves Radio. Are you tired of establishment politics and partisanship? Take some time in your day and check out hippopolitics.com. your source for smarter, middle-of-the-road, anti-establishment type politics. Hippopolitics.com, your source for smarter politics.
All right, we are back. Is Personal Healthcare Reform Talk Show, episode number 20. And I've got a good friend of mine on with us today, Mr. CD Lawhon with Dare2.org. Actually, it's Dare to Care, Dare to Share. And I don't know if anybody's been listening for a while. There's a golf tournament I was involved with back in February, and this was his golf tournament. And some pretty cool pictures came out of that, which I'll have those. I'm going to blast those back out on the internet again just for some nostalgia. Throwback Thursday is going to be all about Dare 2 and some golf tournament. So with that, CD, thanks for coming on.
Well, Clint, thank you for having me. It's a privilege to sit here today with you.
Yeah, and we met at an event. It's just one of those chance meetings that happens.
You know, that's the neat thing about life, that whatever you need in life, it seems to show up. You know, when you run into someone that you just meet for the first time, you never know where it's going. And, you know, I'm thankful that our relationship continued.
Oh, yeah, because it was just one of those. There was probably, 500 people at that event?
And, somewhere in that neighborhood. And like I said, by chance meeting, you know, the thing is that it blossomed into a relationship that has been beneficial to me as well. I hope I've been beneficial to you.
You know, doing what you do and having you on here is fantastic, because we can help even more people with this. And so let's start off with Dare 2, and how did you get into it? How did the organization start? Why did you start it? And of course, I would get into some of your background as well in the ministry.
Well, basically, Clint, how it started is that I was at one time without a job, and I found myself struggling and trying to figure out what to do next. And someone stepped into my life. And basically, when they stepped into my life, they changed my life. You know, it was first a little hand up, in a sense, with providing me the necessities called food to help me when I didn't have food in my house. Eventually, we developed a relationship, and they invited me to be a part of it. I volunteered, just a way of giving back for what they've done for me, and it just kind of snowballed into working more and more as a volunteer, and then eventually they made me a resource director, and got me involved in changing other people's lives like my life was changed. And because of a gentleman by the name of Dennis Hartley and Dare to Believe Ministries, I have progressed to this point. And without their assistance and their help of moving our organization forward, we wouldn't have been able to provide 1.7 million meals here in the Dallas area over the last 3 years.
Yeah, that's a lot of meals.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And we just started out just trying to take care of, one family. And then it turned into 30, and then it turned into 60, and now it's blossomed into over 20,000 that's enrolled in our system.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that you're talking about relationships that we started, and then the relationship I started with them, and it continued that we've outgrown the organization that I was a part of. And he basically said, hey, go do it on your own.
Yeah, and I saw his warehouse, didn't I?
Yes.
That's the warehouse I toured, yeah, and it's a huge warehouse, too. I mean, it's they do a lot of supply, and I know the people that you're serving are actually outside of North Texas Food Bank, correct?
That's correct. We capture those that have fallen down through the cracks, in a sense, in communities. There are several good organizations out in Dallas that do basically what we do, but we feel that we have a different concept of taking the food to them instead of them having to come get the food. Mm-hmm. So we set up what we call care units in different communities throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And these care units, the people who are actually in that neighborhood are able to come and get the assistance that they need. Okay.
Very good. And I know you do outside of the food, you do quite a few other things, benefit services, helping people, basically in the same situation you're in. So, you help out with feeding. You also help out on the financial side, which is, okay, here's where you're at financially. Here's how to start setting things up to where you can get back on the right track, take care of debts.
Yes. I mean, we call it a community care unit because there's a lot of things that happens in someone's life, and you never know what those things are, those challenges that they're facing. And so we actually developed a model that we use that we feed them first and then get them the help that they need, whatever that may be. And in some cases, it may be drug abuse that someone needs a little hand up to get the assistance that they need from getting off of drugs. Or it could be a domestic issue where someone is being, not treated very fair in the home, either verbally or even physically abused, and we get them help. And there's different array of things that we can do to try to assist someone with that challenge in their life.
Okay, and also, I mean, we had a lot of rain last week, so let's segue into some other people you serve, which is, I know you do a lot of disaster relief all over North Texas area as well.
Well, we've been able to help in areas of other communities that we've been very fortunate in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We had the tornadoes of Cleveland and Granbury that we assisted in. They had the tornadoes out in Lancaster. He had the West situation. And the thing is that we just make ourselves available. We had the water shortage in Kemp, Texas, when they lost millions of gallons of water, and we were able to provide drinking water, bathing water, and cooking water. And that's because of the relationships. And I'd still go back. It's all about building relationships. The relationships that we have built with other organizations, partnering with them to move people to the next level of their life, whatever that situation may be.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's because there's a lot of that, and even within DFW, of course, we've got the best economy in the U.S. and everything else. I mean, we can brag about all the numbers here, but there's
but there is a misnomer in that regard because 1.6 is the number. 1.6 is the number of people going hungry in your neighborhood. That means 1 out of 6 families in your neighborhood is going hungry. They're missing a meal. They're missing 2 meals. Especially during the summer months, we've got kids that are missing, that breakfast and lunch that they got at school. And so we're there to step in to try to assist in those areas as well. But everybody asks me, how can I help? What's the best way that I can help you, And I said, get to know your neighbor. Plain and simple. If you get to know your neighbor like we used to, know your neighbor, you'll find out where they're at and where you can be helpful to them. If you want to do something and start today, go knock on your neighbor's door and take them a loaf of bread and say, hey, I just want you to know that I got bread in my house. I want to make sure you have bread in your house. And that's how simple it is to get started. Oh, by the way, that's how I started. I know all my neighbors because I know and it's been very beneficial to us because when I took a loaf of bread over to them and said, I got bread in my house, I want to make sure you have bread in yours, they watched my house. When we had an electrical issue, one of the guys was an electrician. He came over and fixed it, and I asked him what I owe you, and he said, you don't owe me anything. One was an AC guy when my AC went out. I asked him to come over and take a look at it. He came over and take a look at it. I said, what I owe you? He said, you don't owe me anything. So there's benefits of being kind to your neighbor. Plain and simple.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine actually knowing your neighbors and knowing what they do and actually having some community there built within your neighborhood. I'm talking about us having some great numbers here in DFW, but we also have some of the largest food deserts anywhere in the nation here within DFW. So you've got some very prosperous areas, and you've got some areas that just there is no fresh food available. There's lack of everything. In fact, no grocery stores.
Well, there's some places that we serve. The closest grocery stores is 3.5 to 4 miles away, and if you're on a limited income, you can't afford to take a taxi or a bus without getting into your grocery budget. Yeah. On top of that, the seniors. And we're fixing to come into the biggest senior population that we've ever seen in America with the baby boomers coming in, and they're having to make choices between their medicine or eating. And so there's so much poverty in that area and the hunger in that area that's going on that you can make a difference just by knowing your neighbor.
Yep.
And offer your neighbor a ride to the grocery store because they may not be able to go.
there's tons of that going on. So yeah, it's great to get people aware of that and actually start building some community within their communities, because I mean everybody's pretty much shut in, and you got your house. Nobody, you don't dare step across your lawn and somebody else's lawn.
When we first moved into our neighborhood, we had lines drawn. And can you imagine, you look at your neighbor and he looks back at you, and the expression on his face is not what you want to see. But after a while, especially when we showed that we cared, and that's the thing, people want to know you care. Everybody's got challenges in their life that they're facing. It may not be as great as some, but we all have challenges. And if you can build a relationship just with your neighbor, then it grows beyond that. Then you can get a relationship in your church home. You can build relationships in your community. And you know what? Before long, we can all make a difference, one person at a time. And then what you'll see is that it just snowballs from one family, 30 families, to 1.7 million meals being served in Dallas-Fort Worth. Mm-hmm. That's all it took. One person. And I'm not bragging on myself. I'm bragging on the relationships that helped me get there.
Yeah.
Because it's all about building relationships. And we can change the effect that poverty and hunger has here in America by building relationships with your neighbor. Plain and simple. Get to know your neighbor.
Yeah, and building relationships with you and with Dare too. There was the golf charity event back over it was February. We did that. Of course, that was with the NFL Ex-Players Association, correct?
Yeah, the NFL. The NFL is a great organization overall. The former players, awesome guys, man. Mm-hmm. I tell you, they got off the field and they began to experience real life, and they realized how many people were struggling, and so they give back in so many different ways. And I'm just honored to have them a part with us and partnering and sponsoring the things that we do. The NFL Players Association, Byron Williams, the president of the NFL Players Dallas Association here, he's awesome to work with. Larry Mallory, the vice president, they're awesome to work with. You probably need to have them on your show sometime here in the future. But yeah. I know that people care. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what part of life they come from business owners to NFL players, Right. They came out and showed their support at the golf event.
And usually they care more than anybody else because they've grown up, a lot of them grown up in that area. Grew up in poverty and everything else like that, and they use their talents to pull them out of that, to have some success, and now they can go back and give back to the areas they came from.
Well, a lot of them, that's the thing is, a lot of them that I've run across have a heart that you just don't understand, that people don't understand. And it's amazing that you just ask them to do something, and it's like, yeah, man, how can I help? And I like it when that you think there's somebody that's not touchable, but then they become touchable. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that we have a misunderstanding of some of the professional athletes in our area because they have made a success for them that they're untouchable, but really they're touchable.
They're just people.
They're just people, And the thing is that these guys really care. And it's partners like this. Again, I get back to the relationship. It's relationships that you build, the relationship that me and you have built, the relationship that I've built with several of the organizations here in Dallas that help us in areas that we're not experts at. I'm an expert in taking care of your belly. Mm-hmm. I can get you fed. But when it comes to these other issues and challenges that people have, I go to the experts, and I make these relationships. When we did the tornadoes in Moore, Oklahoma, we took what we had available here, got up there, didn't know what we were going to do, but guess what? We went out, knocked doors, and made relationships. Mm-hmm. And before it was all said and done, we were able to do, it was over 2.7 million pounds of product that we were able to give back into Moore, Oklahoma through the relationships that we built. It was amazing.
Right.
And the relationships continue to grow.
Yeah, and you've got some great partners here in DFW as well. I mean, I started looking at your partners list because you've got. Go ahead and rattle off some of the partners because I don't want to.
Well, one of the biggest partners with us is Hymn Ministries out of Mansfield, Texas. Mm-hmm. That stands for Harvesting International. and I just shortened it. But they help us quite a bit. They help us with our freezer and frozen items and cooler items and things of that nature when we bring in frozen meats or we bring in vegetables and things, and they help us keep it in the warehouse there. That's one of our partners that's unseen. Then you have the partners like Aldi, the grocery chain. They've been great for us and helping us with the products. Walmart, Frito-Lay, Vans egg rolls. There's just a lot of them that you don't normally see. That Mars candies, they help us out. And there's just different organizations here that we can't do this without their help. And CEC over in North Richland Hills, and then you have some other organizations like Operation Blessing that's doing this nationwide, and Feed the Children and things of this nature. Those are just a few. I know I probably missed some, and I apologize for those but I wasn't expected to be on the spot of telling who our donors are. We've had several different people that have been really supportive of us, from just individual support, is Richard Dupree and his organization. He's been very helpful with us. And a lot of the churches, we have a lot of church support, from different churches here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yeah, and then you're also getting some help through another organization called CEO Space, which we've talked about back and forth between each other for quite a while, and you've actually been out there, and you got some pretty neat stuff coming up with them in the next 6 months.
Yeah, CEO Space is an organization that helps businesses get to the next level. So if your business is struggling, like some of these people that were struggling to, in their areas of hunger, CEO Space, if your business is hungry and it needs the next shot in the arm and needs help, they're there for you. They'll help you to get to that next level. CEO Space is an organization that really gives back to the business community. And when I say that, they tithe their time of expertise, they tithe their time of their knowledge and things of this nature to help businesses succeed. We have several partners that help us in every aspect, from helping businesses get a leg up, and to people that are in need.
Do you have another event coming up? What's the next? I know we've talked about another golf.
Actually,
event.
We have several different things that are coming up. One of those is the Feast of Sharing that we partner with HEB in Central Market every year. That happens at the State Fair of Texas Fairgrounds, where we feed 12,000 turkey dinners. So that's one of the events that's coming up, and that's in mid-November. I don't have the exact date yet. We also are structuring another golf tournament to come up. We still haven't got that all lined out, but we'll keep you informed about that.
Okay. All right. Great. And then for anybody who wants to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you, and how do they donate?
Well, you can go to the website, and it's DARE, D-A-R-E, 2.org. And my phone number is 817-881-1642. That's my direct line. And so if you have any suggestions or ideas of how we can partner together to make a difference in Dallas-Fort Worth area, I accept everybody's call. The website has pretty much all the information of the events and things that are coming up, as well as the place to donate. And again, thank you for having us on with you today, Clint. It's been a privilege and an honor to sit down with you. Thank Raul for his time and everything. And I tell you, y'all need to check out Clint's website.
Oh, it's ClintFuquay.com.
Yeah,
I keep easy.
Yeah, make sure you check that out, because there's a lot of health benefits. He's helping me get healthy as well.
Yeah, so thanks for coming on, and as you get more stuff over to me, I'll be posting all over Facebook and everywhere else, because that's what I do. So come back, join us for the next show. I have no idea what's on the next show, but it's show number 21, so we may have some wine and have some fun.